A man who used Twitter to contact and subsequently murder 9 individuals has been sentenced to death in a widely publicized case that has deeply disturbed Japan. Takahiro Shiraishi, known as the Twitter Killer, was apprehended in 2017 following the discovery of human remains in his residence. Welcome back to Crime Scene Archives. In today's video, we explore the harrowing case of Takahiro Shiraishi, infamously known as the Twitter Killer. Join us as we visit the shocking details of Shiraishi's crimes, his manipulation of social media, and the devastating impact on his victims and their families. Before we delve into the dark depths of this tragic story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crime Scene Archives for more videos like this. Warning: this video contains graphic content related to crime scenes. It is intended for educational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. The 30-year-old Takahiro Shiraishi confessed to the killings and dismemberments of his victims, most of whom were young women he had encountered on the social media platform. These serial homicides sparked discussions on the manner in which suicide is addressed in online spaces. Despite the courtroom's limited public seating of only 16, over 400 individuals attended the verdict announcement on December 15, 2020, as per local media reports. Japan maintains strong public support for the death penalty, making it one of the few developed countries that still uphold capital punishment. Shiraishi utilized Twitter as a means to entice suicidal women to his residence, offering assistance in their desire to end their lives. In some instances, he purportedly suggested a joint suicide pact, where he would also take his own life alongside them. According to Japan's Kyodo News Agency, citing the indictment, he proceeded to strangle and dismember 8 women and 1 man aged 15 to 26 between August and October 2017. The series of murders were initially uncovered on Halloween of that year when authorities stumbled upon dismembered body parts within Shiraishi's apartment in Zama, a city near Tokyo. This discovery occurred during a search for a missing 23-year-old woman who was ultimately identified as one of his victims. After her disappearance, her brother accessed her Twitter account and notified the police about a suspicious profile, leading them to Shiraishi's residence on the morning of October 31, 2017. Dubbed the House of Horrors by Japanese media, the investigation revealed a chilling scene within the apartment. 9 heads, along with a substantial quantity of arm and leg bones, were found concealed in coolers and toolboxes. Shiraishi had baited suicidal and vulnerable people on the former social media platform Twitter, now called X, by offering empathy to win their trust and expertise on how to end it all by posing as a specialist in hanging. The self-proclaimed hanging pro, who turned 33 last October 2023, is now in a maximum security prison waiting for his death sentence by hanging, to be meted out following his sentencing in December 2020. Shiraishi's motives were sex and money. None of his victims wanted to die when he killed them. He drugged, raped, robbed, murdered, and then dismembered his 8 female victims. His lone male victim, who also once harbored suicidal thoughts, was an acquaintance of the first female victim and had come too close to sniffing Shiraishi out. Japan is often depicted as a society under immense pressure, characterized by isolation and high suicide rates. However, contrary to this stereotype, the number of suicides has declined from its peak of 34,427 in 2003 to approximately 20,000 annually in recent years. Nevertheless, suicide remains the leading cause of death for individuals aged 39 and younger. With each disturbing case like Shiraishi's, there are calls for stricter regulations and increased scrutiny over social media and the dark web. However, there are inherent limitations to what can be achieved in this regard. According to freelance journalist Tetsuya Shibui, who conducted 3 interviews with Shiraishi while he was in detention, some women have expressed admiration for Shiraishi, openly stating that they wish they could have been his 10th victim. This was revealed in the 6th episode of the True Crimes of Asia podcast series. Mr. Shibui observed that Shiraishi exuded the demeanor of an ordinary 20-something with whom one could easily engage in light conversation. His gentle tone and apparent sensitivity towards the vulnerable were notable traits. Shibui further noted that among those vulnerable individuals were women who had endured ongoing sexual abuse, neglected by authorities unwilling to pursue their cases, as well as others subjected to domestic violence or manipulation. These insights were drawn from Shibui's first-hand experience, as he has authored a book delving into the details of the murders. Shiraishi primarily operated using 2 social media accounts, namely Hanging Crow and I Want to Die. However, he also utilized 4 other handles to communicate with 37 different accounts over the course of 3 months. In total, he encountered 13 individuals, ultimately taking the lives of 9 of them. Prior to being a serial killer, Shiraishi worked as a recruiter in Tokyo's Kabukicho red light district in Shinjuku. He faced arrest and received a suspended sentence for his involvement in the illegal prostitution of minors. Feeling a deep yearning for love but lacking employment and motivation, he immersed himself in social media, where he enticed suicidal women by portraying himself as someone contemplating suicide. This manipulation succeeded, leading him to encounter a woman who agreed to provide the down payment for his apartment. However, the illusion of a contented life quickly shattered when jealousy overtook him as she formed a close bond with a male friend. In a moment consumed by uncontrollable desire, he rendered her unconscious and committed a reprehensible act of sexual assault. Yet the realization struck him that she might report the assault if she survived, inevitably leading to his imprisonment. This twisted mindset propelled him into a downward spiral of murder, preying on those lacking resources to fulfill his desires and then dismembering their bodies to cover his tracks. He showed leniency towards those with financial means, hoping to exploit them continuously. The fact that he would have remained a stranger to his victims if not for social media made it challenging for the police to apprehend him. Shiraishi admitted that had he not been caught, he would have continued his spree indefinitely, or until he found a woman willing to financially support him. The unraveling of his scheme occurred only when the brother of his final victim accessed her account, exposing Shiraishi's deception. The names of Shiraishi's victims were kept confidential to safeguard their privacy. The father of a 25-year-old victim, speaking to the court, expressed unforgiving sentiments towards Shiraishi, stating he would never forgive him even in death, as reported by Japanese broadcaster NHK. He lamented the ongoing pain of mistaking other women for his daughter and pleaded for her return, emphasizing that the anguish would never diminish. Another victim's father, whose child was 17, expressed support for the death penalty, deeming it appropriate. He voiced feelings of vengeance, but acknowledged the powerlessness of bereaved families to act upon their anger. Similarly, the brother of a 25-year-old victim described feeling emotionally devastated upon hearing Shiraishi's testimony, stating it lacked any semblance of remorse. He likened the experience to being repeatedly wounded with a sharp knife. Mr. Shibui said that this case was the most tragic he had encountered in his 3-decade journalism career. For the bereaved families, closure and the opportunity to bid a proper farewell are elusive because the bodies are not intact, and there is no body, he explained. He emphasized the importance of having an intact body in Japanese culture and expressed the profound pain felt by the families due to the violation of the victim's dignity. While prosecutors pushed for the death penalty for Shiraishi, his defense team argued for a lesser charge of murder with consent, contending that his victims had allegedly agreed to be killed. Shiraishi's death sentence was confirmed in January 2021, and he is presently awaiting execution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the unsettling case of Takahiro Shiraishi, the Twitter killer. Previously on Crime Scene Archives. In our last video, we delved into the chilling case of Yang Xinhai, the Chinese man who shocked the world by committing over 60 murders. If you missed it, be sure to check it out for more spine-tingling true crime stories. Remember to subscribe for more captivating true crime content and stay tuned for the next exploration into the depths of criminal history. Until next time, stay safe and stay vigilant.